Hi everyone. My name is Alicia and I'm making this channel because I have two autistic boys. One has epilepsy, and I wanted you guys to see my everyday life with these two bundles of joy. And I really mean it. They're so much fun. There is there's bad days and there's also good days. It's just every kid's different. Um, there's different types of autism kids out there. They're all different. Not one's the same. Um, my oldest, like I said, has epilepsy. He's 5. He first started getting seizures back in 2016 in November. He had one when he was in preschool. And they called it a focal seizure, meaning his eyes rolled to the back of his head. And then after that, a week or two later, he started having I don't really know the technical term for it, but it's like the jerking and just the jerkingness. And we did a lot of testing, can't figure out what's triggering these not flashing lights. That was negative. They just can't figure anything out. So they just said, if he goes 2 years seizure free, he can be off his medications. He's been seizure free for a year. Yay! Just one more year and we're good. Because he doesn't really like the medication anyways. But what kid likes medication that they have to take? What else? I suffer from anxiety/depression. It just started happening recently. Everybody keeps telling me it's just the stress of every day, taking care of 2 boys that need, have high demands and just stress. And honestly, I don't want to blame my boys for my stress because they're not stressing me out. It's not. It's just maybe it's me being me and me overthinking things because I don't get stressed out with them. They are hard at times, but we have good days more than bad days. And watching them learn and progress and bloom is so a good feeling. It makes me feel good that I'm actually a good mom. And that's what I struggle with, is thinking that I'm a bad mom. I have days where I just cry because I'm a bad mom. And I get people looking at me because my kids are screaming in the store because they're not getting their way. And it's kind of sad when people look at me because they're judging me because my kid is screaming, when they don't understand why he's screaming and why he's acting the way he is. And I know every kid screams when they don't get their way, but my 2 boys, it goes from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds when things aren't going their way, or they need that deep pressure and they're not need that squeeze, or just a weighted blanket, and they can't get that when we're at the store. I mean, they could get squeezes like hugs, but sometimes hugs don't work all the time. So, but if anybody out there who has autistic kids, let me know what you do in that kind of situation where your kid's just having a bad behavior, just having a bad time, he's screaming and all this other stuff. Because I don't mind it, because I listen to them scream all day long. I do my best to try to sit here and give them what they need, and try to calm them down in ways where, because they see a speech and an occupational therapist, they both kind of give me things what to do. But sometimes it's not always enough, but sometimes it does work to the point where they're better after 5 minutes of me giving them a bear hug, or using a rolling pin and rolling it back and forth on their arms or their legs and everything. But I figured if any parent out there has any tips, please let me know, because I'm at my wit's end, because I feel like tried everything in my head that I feel like would work, and it's not working. Just, and I know there's people out there who have kids like that, and they go to therapy, and like, can people let me know, like, not therapy, but they go to like groups where they have kids that have epilepsy or autism, and how they, you know, they are not, like, I don't want to say cope with it, because like, you love your kid no matter what, it's just like, how do you, like, if the group thingy, like with people who have autism kids or has epilepsy, like, does that work when you hear other people talking about how what they're doing with their son or daughter and things that they try? Does that really work? Because I've had people tell me to go to like stuff like that because it would help me, because I feel like I'm lost. I literally feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but obviously I'm doing something right because the things I'm trying to do work. But sometimes it's kind of nice to have some tips besides what I'm thinking in my head and making up stuff as I go. Yeah. And I have anxiety, like I said, and I've seen a doctor, and I'm seeing a psychologist. I only have 7 more visits with him, and then I get to choose what if I should proceed on with seeing a psychologist. And and that's another thing. If you guys suffer from anxiety, depression, can you let me know if like seeing a psychologist like long term is something that helps? Because I feel like, because before I had all this figured out, like what was going on with me, I would talk to my husband. I would cry. Like, I call him every 20 minutes crying, saying I'm scared, I'm freaking out, I'm having a panic attack, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And I just had one session with my psychologist, and I explained a lot, and we have a goal for me to gain to gain control of my anxiety, because I feel like I'm losing this battle with my anxiety. Sometimes I feel like it's winning, but I'm trying my hardest. I mean, I've gotten this far. And this is my oldest son, Mikey. Say hi. Hi. Say, my name's Mikey. Yeah, they both have a speech delay, and he's bloomed a lot. He's saying 3-word sentences. He's saying a lot more. It's easier because beforehand, when he was at the age where they were supposed to like, they were able to talk, like, but he was supposed to like say a couple sentences, like let you know, hey, my knee hurts, or my head hurts, or my hand hurts. And this is why I'm proud, because it took over 2 years, and he's bloomed into like talking a lot more. And honestly, I never thought it would happen, because when he wasn't talking, I was freaking out, and everybody was like, oh no, he's fine, he's just a little bit, delayed, he'll get there. And then by the time he got to being like 2, I was like, this is not right. Like, he's not talking, he's just screaming. And I was like, I have to do something. So I set up things with early intervention, and basically they send somebody, and I'm not really sure if this is what it is, but what I got how it was explained to me was, they send somebody that knows a little bit of everything. Like, from what I know, the person knew a little bit about speech and a little bit about like occupational therapy and everything, and she would teach him like things from each different things, like maybe physical therapy or speech or OT, and she knew like she would teach him like little by little. And then When he hits 3, he ages out of early intervention and has to do in-home therapy. So now he's doing in-home therapy along with my youngest. They both have speech and OT, and they both have bloomed so much. They literally have. And if it wasn't for that little help with the speech and occupational, I still feel like he wouldn't be talking, because I've tried when he was little. Like, I felt like at my wit's end, because I was like, I don't know, like, what am I doing wrong? And that's why there's days, and that's where it brings back to like why I feel like I'm a bad mom, because I feel like sometimes I'm just not good, because I feel like I could do better at being a mom, and that's why I feel like at my wit's end, because I feel like what I'm doing is completely wrong. And then again, I feel like it's right, but then again, when I see other things or get told things, it's like, oh, I'm doing this wrong. And I'll just keep saying to myself, at least you're trying. At least you're trying. That's all that matters. You can only be the best that your kids, or you can only be the best in like your kids' eyes. Like, it didn't matter. I mean, sometimes it does matter to me when I get those looks, or I get those little comments like, that's not right, you're not doing this, you're not doing that right, and they should be doing this, and they should be doing that. And this is from people that don't even know me or my kids, and don't know what they've been through, and what I've been through, and my husband's been through. And I just, I want people to stop judging other moms about when they see their kids screaming, because I've seen this post on Facebook about a girl. She saw another girl being judged by another mom because her kid's screaming, and she looked like she was at her wit's end and was giving the kid everything she could just to calm him down. And then this lady gives her like the dirtiest look, like, and the girl goes like, if she was ruining her day at the store, like ruining her shopping at the store. And the girl that was talking about this is right. At least she don't have to go home to that. She doesn't have to deal with when they go home. And that's what I always say to myself, I would like to see people take my kids home and then tell me otherwise, that, I should get them to stop screaming. And then there's this one time we were at the store, and we're looking at fish, and my oldest loves looking at the fish. And he was screaming because he wanted one so bad. And we kept telling him, no, he can't have a fish. And this lady just walks by and says, you guys should just get him a fish. I'm like, you could pay for it. If you pay for this fish, I'll take it home with me then. Otherwise, I'm trying to let my kid know he can't always get what he wants. And just comments like that kind of make it hard, because I'm not just saying it's for autism kids, it's just like any kid in general. It's like, the person doesn't know what it's like to go home with the kid, and what the mom or dad have to deal with, or the grandparents, if have to deal with when they get back home. They only see one side of it until they get, and then the kid makes, it's two different sides of the kid and whatnot, or many different sides, I guess. But yeah. Oh, and I forgot to let you guys know, I do have a husband. His name is Michael. And yeah, just like my son, but his is Michael Lee Cole III. My son is Michael Christopher Cole. So yeah, he decided to change the whole ordeal, because when we had my oldest, it was going to be Michael Lee Cole IV. But then stuff happened with family, and he didn't want it to keep going. So he changed the middle name to Christopher. And if many of you want to know why he chose Christopher, it was mostly because, and it wasn't because his cousin Chris, because he has a cousin named Chris, He has a best friend. His best friend Pat, his brother. Something had happened to his brother. I can't go in the story because it's not my story to tell. And when all that happened was around the time when my oldest was born. And his brother, his best friend's brother, was Christopher. So Mikey chose that for our oldest's middle name. And Sky's name. I first wanted to name him Aiden, and then I changed my mind because I liked the name Skylar. But my friend, who was having a kid a month before me, or yeah, a month before me, she was naming her kid Skylar, and I was like, because before we found out what she was naming her boy, I swear to you, if I was having a girl, I was gonna name her Skylar. And then when she said she was having a boy and naming him Skylar, I was like, oh shoot, okay. And but that wasn't gonna change my mind about the whole like naming the girl Skylar. So, but when we found out we're having a boy, I changed the name from Aiden to Sky because I did like the name Skylar, but I didn't want to make it feel like I was trying to copy her. And so I just named him Sky Parker Cole. And Parker is because of Peter Parker, because my husband likes Spider-Man, like the very original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. And I thought of Parker because I thought it would be weird to have Sky Peter Cole, so I did, and it also reminded me of Peter from Family Guy. But I thought Parker, so, and I liked Parker, so his name is Sky Parker Cole, and my oldest is Michael Christopher Cole. Yeah, so I'm hoping to post more videos because I want people who are finding out they have kids that have autism or epilepsy. I want them to like not just look at my video because I want views or anything. It's just they look at my video of, like, if they need help, and they can reach out to me and be like, hey, how did you cope with finding out about your son having, or your son's having autism, or about having him having epilepsy? Like, what did you do? Like, I would have loved to have someone to find somebody that I could talk to and say, ask all these questions that I still have to this day about autism and epilepsy and whatnot, because sometimes I feel like asking a doctor, yeah, that can help, but it'd be more helpful to me about getting information from parents, or like people that, instead of a doctor, just like mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, and like people who deal with it and whatnot, and not get answers, but to learn, like, how did they cope with it, what did they do, and like, do they have good days and bad days just like my kids, and the seizures ever go away, or do they come and go, and yeah. So, well, that's just it. If, like I said, leave comments down there if you think group therapy for autism and seizures, talking to other people about, their kids and having special needs and stuff like that would help me. Please let me know. And, yeah.